Admiral Kexthron's mandibles clicked nervously as he stared at the tactical display. 10 red markers, each representing a full hegemony armada, had simply vanished from the screen. 250 of the most advanced warships in known space, gone without so much as a distress signal. "This is impossible!" hissed Commander Veltar, her serpentine form coiling tighter around her command station. The humans deployed only 37 vessels. Our intelligence was certain. Kexthron's 4 eyes narrowed as he studied the last known positions. The human fleet had been vastly outnumbered, nearly 7-1. By all calculations, it should have been a massacre. The humans were a young species, barely 3 centuries into space travel. Their technology was primitive compared to the hegemony's millennium of advancement. Perhaps their ships were destroyed as well, suggested Veltar. Mutual annihilation? The Admiral's silence stretched long enough that several bridge officers turned to look at him. Finally he spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "No, if that were the case, we would detect debris fields. Energy signatures, something." He gestured at the empty display. "There is nothing. It's as if 10 armadas simply ceased to exist." 3 days earlier, the Hegemony Council had been confident. Humanity had rejected their ultimatum to surrender their outer colonies, and the response had been swift. 10 full armadas, the largest military deployment in hegemony history, had been dispatched to crush human resistance once and for all. The humans' reply had been puzzling. A single fleet of 37 ships emerging from the Kepler 442 system. Long-range scans had identified them as a mixed force of cruisers and destroyers, with what appeared to be civilian modifications. The hegemony's finest military minds had laughed at the audacity. Now none of them were laughing. "Sir," called Lieutenant Zachmore from the communication station, his voice trembling. "We're receiving a transmission. It's from the humans." Kexthron straightened his massive frame. "Put it through." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a human female in a simple gray uniform. She appeared unremarkable by hegemony standards. No natural armor, no enhanced appendages, no visible weapons. Just pale skin, dark hair, and those peculiar forward-facing eyes that seemed to look right through the screen. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Fleet," she said, her voice calm and measured. "I am broadcasting to all hegemony forces in this sector." Kexthron leaned forward. "This is Admiral Kexithron of the Hegemony Third Fleet. Where are our armadas?" "What have you done?" Chen's expression didn't change. "Your armadas encountered our fleet 3 days ago. They chose to engage. That was an unwise—" "Impossible," Veltar interjected. "You were outnumbered 7-1. Your technology is centuries behind ours." For the first time, something that might have been amusement flickered across the human's features. "Technology isn't everything, Commander. Sometimes it's about how you use what you have." "Stop speaking in riddles," Kexthron demanded. "Where are our ships?" Chen paused as if considering how much to reveal. "Do you know what humans call the space between star systems, Admiral? The void, empty space. But it's not really empty, is it? There's dark matter, quantum fluctuations, zero-point energy. Most species see it as nothing. Humans see it as potential." The Admiral's blood ran cold. "What are you saying?" "We're saying that your armadas discovered why humans don't build the biggest ships or the most ships." Chen's voice remained level, almost conversational. "We build the ships that can go where others cannot follow." On the tactical display, new contacts began appearing. Not ships, something else entirely. Distortions in space itself, like ripples in reality. "Your vessels," Chen continued, "are currently existing in a state of quantum superposition between dimensions. Alive and destroyed here and not here. Schrödinger's fleet, if you will. They will remain in that state until we choose to collapse the waveform." Kexthron's mandibles clicked frantically. "You're bluffing. No species has mastered dimensional manipulation to that degree. Most species don't spend their first 3 centuries of space travel learning to think outside conventional physics," Chen replied. "Most species don't have to. They get to the stars and find established civilizations, existing technologies. They adapt. Humans, we had to innovate." She gestured, and the display showed brief flashes, images of massive hegemony dreadnoughts caught in impossible geometries, their hulls twisted through dimensions that shouldn't exist. "We didn't want war," Chen said softly. "We wanted peace. You forced our hand." Veltar's voice was barely a whisper. "What?" "What do you want?" "Withdrawal from human space. Immediate cessation of hostilities. Recognition of Terran sovereignty. Chen's tone became sharper, and an understanding that humanity is not as helpless as you believed. Kexthron stared at the impossible readings on his instruments. 10 Armadas, the pride of the hegemony, held in some quantum prison by a species they had dismissed as primitive. And if we refuse? Chen's smile was cold. Then you'll discover that we have more than one fleet, Admiral. And the next time we might not be so merciful. The transmission ended, leaving Kexthron staring at empty space. Around him, his crew worked in stunned silence, trying to process what they had witnessed. In the depths of space, 37 human ships hung motionless, their hulls scarred but intact. They had faced 10 armadas and emerged victorious, not through superior firepower or numbers, but through the one thing that had always set humanity apart: their absolute refusal to accept that something was impossible. And in the quantum spaces between dimensions, 10 hegemony armadas waited in suspension, a reminder that sometimes the smallest force can move the largest mountain if it knows exactly where to push. The hegemony had learned a valuable lesson that day. Never underestimate a species that learned to reach for the stars with nothing but stubborn determination and an inability to accept the word impossible. Humanity had deployed one fleet. It was enough.